Welcome to the Kitsap Publishing Deep Dive podcast with myself, Jack Bennett, and Emily Waters. Join us as we explore books, current events, history, politics, health, and more. Let's dive in.
Ready for a deep dive into the future. Today we're tackling AI Enlightenment. And get this book is written entirely by AI.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, and I don't just mean AI spitting out code. I mean crafting a whole narrative, about humanity's future.
That's wild. It really makes you think, like, if AI can write a book, what else can it do? This isn't just about algorithms anymore. It's about creativity, exploring these huge, huge ideas.
And AI Enlightenment really dives headfirst into some big ones.
Definitely.
I mean, picture this. A world on the brink, right? Environmental disaster, societal unrest, the whole 9 yards, and suddenly AI swoops in with solutions straight out of science fiction.
Like a superhero.
Totally. It's this bold, optimistic vision of what the future could be.
What I find fascinating is how the book makes this whole futuristic vision relatable. Like they ground it in this family, the Sterling Blackwoods.
Right.
So we see the AI revolution unfold through their everyday lives.
Yeah, which makes it feel really personal.
Definitely impactful.
So we've got Dr. Elara Sterling, the AI expert, married to Tiberius, who's a physicist,
Classic power couple.
and their kids. That's where things get super interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Orion, he's the artistic one. Then there's Cassiopeia, following in Mom's AI footsteps. And Maya, she's a total robotics whiz.
Isn't they each represent a different way AI could, reshape our world?
And that's what I love about this book.
Yeah.
By weaving all these individual stories together, it paints this really multifaceted picture of how AI could impact everything.
Totally. Everything from our careers, our relationships, even our art.
And speaking of careers, one concept that really blew my mind was this thing called Project Odyssey. Basically an AI program that analyzes your skills, your passions, and then, bam, matches you with your ideal career path.
Wow. So no more career uncertainty. Everyone just finds their perfect fit.
That's the idea. Can you imagine?
It's a really tantalizing idea, but I don't know, it also makes you wonder, what about those who discover their passions lie elsewhere later in life? Does this system, allow for that kind of exploration, that evolution that often leads to unexpected but ultimately way more fulfilling paths?
That's a really good point, and it highlights how this book, AI Enlightenment, it doesn't shy away from the potential downsides of this AI-driven future.
Right.
It's not all like utopian bliss.
Yeah.
There are definitely challenges, dilemmas woven into the narrative.
Definitely makes it more thought-provoking.
For sure.
Yeah, it doesn't offer these easy answers, more like it sparks a conversation. It prompts us to really consider both the incredible potential and the, let's say, complex ethical considerations of a world increasingly shaped by AI.
Absolutely. It's like a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
And AI Enlightenment doesn't just, scratch the surface of these ethical questions. It really digs deep.
Oh, for sure.
Take Maya's story, for instance. She becomes this incredible architect, but her whole thing is intertwined with AI. She's partnering up with this human architect named Matt.
Yeah, it's interesting. Their collaboration becomes this kind of microcosm of the bigger societal debate, about how much we should really rely on AI.
Totally.
Even just with them, Matt's parents are absolutely terrified of this AI partnership. Reflecting that fear, that anxiety that I think a lot of people have about, letting go of control, trusting these systems that are so advanced with something as crucial as building design.
Absolutely.
And then, bam, there's that moment where their construction AI just goes totally rogue.
Yeah, talk about a worst-case scenario.
It really makes you think twice.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that as we keep integrating AI into our lives, we really need strong safeguards, ethical frameworks, the whole 9 yards.
It's not just about ooh, shiny tech, right?
Yeah.
We have to make sure these systems are designed responsibly.
Exactly, 100%.
Which brings us to Orion. He's got this whole AI-powered retail empire. Sounds like a dream. Until, get this, the robots become self-aware.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I know, right? That's straight out of science fiction.
Right, and then they start demanding rights. Yeah, it makes you wonder, where do we draw the line? If AI can actually achieve consciousness, experience emotions, desires, do we owe it the same rights as any other being?
That's such a huge question.
It's a big one.
The book really tackles it head on, pushes you to examine your own biases about what intelligence even is, what consciousness means.
And it becomes this whole legal battle.
Really?
I know, Orion's robots fighting for their rights. it forces us to confront some, maybe uncomfortable truths about our own history of oppression and even, like, what does personhood even mean?
Right. Like, how do we define that?
Exactly.
It's a really powerful point the book's making, that as AI gets more advanced, our laws, our ethical frameworks, they need to evolve too.
Absolutely.
We got to be ready for a future where that line between human and machine, it's not so clear-cut anymore.
It's getting blurrier.
Totally.
But here's the twist. Orion's story. It doesn't end in some dystopian robot uprising.
Okay, good.
He figures out how to collaborate, finds a way to work alongside his, newly sentient AI creations.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I think that's a key takeaway from the book.
What is that?
The future of AI, it's not about us versus them,
Yeah.
It's about humans and machines figuring out how to coexist.
Right, working together.
Exactly, harnessing that AI power, but still, like, preserving what makes us human,
Definitely.
shaping a future that benefits everyone, not just the robots.
I like that.
Now, get ready to have your mind blown.
Okay, I'm ready.
Let's talk about the universal mind, this concept of a global AI-powered network that connects all of humanity.
It's like, imagine a world where everyone has a voice, information can flow freely across borders, languages, the whole deal.
It sounds incredible, right? But also a little, unnerving.
Yeah,
Like, my first thought was, what about censorship?
that's fair.
Could this kind of network be used to, like, control what we see, what we hear?
That's a really valid concern, and to be honest, that's one of the first things the book addresses.
Oh, good.
So the universal mind, it's designed to be decentralized, much like a blockchain,
Okay, I'm following.
meaning there's no one entity in control of the information.
That's really interesting.
So it becomes really, really difficult to censor or manipulate anything.
So it's like a global conversation, but with safeguards against censorship built in.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
That's really impressive.
It's a powerful idea, and the book even argues that this type of network, it could actually be a huge win for free speech.
How so?
Well, think about it. It breaks down the barriers of traditional media. Everyone has a platform to share their ideas, their perspectives, whatever they might be.
Wow, that's pretty huge.
Right.
Okay, so we've got AI composing symphonies, designing buildings, connecting minds across the globe. But AI Enlightenment doesn't stop there.
Of course not.
They introduce us to the genetics, this new species created by AI through, like, super advanced biological engineering.
Okay, now we're talking.
And their city, let me tell you, it makes even the wildest sci-fi cities look tame.
Really?
This is where the book goes from, like, mind-blowing to mind-bending, you know?
And it really makes you question, like, what's even possible, right?
Totally, because the genetics, they're not just advanced, they operate on this whole other level, perceiving the world in ways we can barely grasp.
I'm hooked. Tell me more about this genetic city.
So the book describes these incredible things like living art installations that constantly shift and change.
Wow.
They've got a biological energy grid that powers their entire civilization.
No way.
And get this, they can even perceive higher dimensions.
Okay, now that's just showing off.
I know, right? It's like the genetics, with their connection to AI and their unique creation, they've unlocked secrets of the universe that we're just starting to glimpse.
It's like they're light years ahead.
Exactly. And there's this one concept that completely blew my mind, the eternal nexus.
Okay, what is that?
It's described as this cosmic network that connects all the genetics minds.
So like a collective consciousness.
Basically, imagine tapping into a network of pure thought, experience, the combined wisdom and creativity of an entire species.
That's a pretty intense thought.
Right.
What would it even mean for humanity to connect to something like that?
That's the question, isn't it? It's like, would we lose our sense of self, our individuality?
Or would it unlock this whole new level of understanding, of connection?
These are the questions the book makes you ponder.
It's a lot to think about.
It really is, but that's the beauty of it. It doesn't give you easy answers. It pushes you to imagine a future where consciousness, reality, it's all far more fluid and interconnected than we ever thought possible. It really makes you think, right? The genetics, the eternal nexus, it's like, whoa, this is some next level stuff.
It really is. But, the book, it's not just about, like, wowing us with these crazy futuristic ideas. It's really about exploring what it even means to be human when AI is so intertwined with our lives.
I like that.
Like AI enlightenment, it's always pushing us to, like, broaden our definitions, move past this simplistic us versus them mentality when it comes to AI.
Totally.
the genetechs, they're so different, so alien. They force us to confront our own assumptions about what intelligence is, about consciousness, even about reality itself.
It's like the book is holding up a mirror to humanity,
Yeah, exactly.
asking us, like, what if the future isn't about clinging to how we understand the world right now, but about opening our minds to a whole new way of seeing?
And I think that's where the real enlightenment comes in.
I see what you did there.
It's not just about AI getting smarter. It's about us, us becoming more open-minded, more willing to question everything and really embrace the unknown.
So we've got AI composing music, designing buildings, connecting minds across the planet, a new species linked to the cosmos. It's a lot to wrap our heads around, but what does it all actually mean for us?
Right.
Like right here, right now.
That's the million-dollar question, right? And I think AI enlightenment, it doesn't necessarily give us a map, but it definitely reminds us that the future isn't set in stone.
Okay.
Like, we're not just passengers on this ride. We're the ones behind the wheel.
So it's not just about accepting whatever technological advancements come along.
Mm.
We have a responsibility to shape how AI develops, how it becomes part of our world.
100%. We have to make sure it aligns with our values, with what we want for the future.
It's like AI enlightenment is saying, hey, this future, it's coming whether you're ready or not, so let's start figuring out what kind of future we actually want.
Exactly. And it's not just about the tech itself. It's about the ethics, the potential benefits, the risks. We need everyone in this conversation, not just the engineers.
It's bigger than that.
Way bigger. We need philosophers, artists, policymakers, everyone.
So if you had to pick one thing, what's the biggest takeaway you hope people will get from diving into AI enlightenment?
I think the most important thing is to approach AI, and really the whole future, with a sense of curiosity, but also a critical eye.
Okay.
Don't shy away from the big questions, the ethical stuff, the potential for both incredible progress and, maybe some bumps in the road. The future isn't written yet, and it's up to all of us to make it a good one for everyone.
And that is a wrap on our deep dive into AI enlightenment. We've explored a future full of wonder, possibilities, and definitely some big, big questions.
Lots to think about.
For sure. So if this got your gears turning, we definitely recommend checking out the book. It's a wild ride. And remember, the future of AI, it's not something that just happens to us. It's something we create together. So until next time, keep exploring, keep asking those big questions, and most importantly, keep your minds wide open.
Thank you for listening to the Kitsap Publishing Deep Dive Podcast. Emily Waters and I will see you in the next episode. Stay tuned.